everybody, and welcome back to my show. This is episode 4 of Excuse My Behavior podcast, and I am your host, Sierra. On this episode, we will be talking about the return of the NFL, Kaepernick potential return to the NFL, and what the NFL commissioner had to say about him. And then we'll also talk about Cam Newton. Earlier today, he was signed with the Patriots. So I definitely have something to say about that. I definitely want to talk about it. Make sure you stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So let's talk about it. Cam Newton was just signed with the Patriots, New England Patriots. He now have the chance to compete with the Stidham kid, and I believe Brian Hoyer is also on the Patriots as well. I don't think Cam Newton have anything to worry about. I think he is the same quarterback that he originally was. I don't think that um, he lost it a little bit. I'm not going to say he didn't, but I still think he has the capability of being maybe a top 10 or top 15 quarterback, especially with Bill Belichick. He is the he's a no-nonsense coach. Everybody knows that. And so I don't think he's going to take any of that acting out that Cam Newton was doing, all that crazy stuff he was doing before the last time he played in 2018. Now, the last time he played with the Panthers, the year 2018, he had around 3,000 yards with 24 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. They're okay numbers. They're not, bad. They're not the greatest, but I think he is better than what the Patriots have on their roster. I think he is better than what the Redskins have on the roster. I would certainly take him over what we have now. I'm not saying that Dwayne Haskins, I don't know. I feel like Dwayne Haskins still have a lot of work, and I feel like Cam Newton, even though he hasn't played football in a year, I still think that he has the capability of being who he originally was. He may not get to the Super Bowl, Cam Newton, but I still think he deserves to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. I have no doubt about that. So I am very happy for him. I'm glad that he was able to sign with the Patriots. Now, it's just a one-year deal, so I wouldn't get too necessarily excited about it, but I feel like the Patriots for 1 year could be competitive. And I don't know, maybe if he do good, I guess, maybe win them 11, 12 games or something like that. I don't see why he wouldn't sign another deal or even a long-term deal with the Patriots. He can be the new face of the Patriots. At first it was Tom Brady, now it is him. I think it's great to be signed with the Patriots. Now, Tom Brady have moved on to the Bucs, as we all know, and I'm happy for him in Tampa Bay, but I feel like Cam Newton has a good chance with the Patriots. I feel like the Patriots is still overall a good team. Now they have a good quarterback, so I feel like it is all going to work out. What you guys think? Let me know. Let me know you think the Cam Newton is good with the Patriots, or do you think he is better off somewhere else? Now, I wanted to talk about, because if you guys don't know, the opening game with it was the Cowboys and I believe the Steelers, the Hall of Fame pregame, that is now canceled. So I was thinking, well, what if we had a year without football? What if we didn't have no football? So what would we do? What would the world look like? What would the players do? In my opinion, I think if they decided to postpone the season, not go through with the season, then I think it's going to be like chaos everywhere, because what are we going to do? The NBA is returning, but that is eventually going to end sometime in maybe October, maybe. So after that, what are we going to do? What if the domestic violence is going to go up? I feel like for people who are in relationships without any football, they may, I don't know, the girlfriend, boyfriend may get into it more, maybe more arguing. It may be more chaos in the streets because people are not in the house on Sundays or on in Thanksgiving or Christmas, because they usually came together for the football. So being that football is not there, they can take into other activities and whatnot. And I don't know, the crime rate may go up. I feel like we need football. It's something, it's important. I feel like we should have it. They need to work it out, figure out a way. This game was, the pregame was postponed, and that was okay because we don't really care about the preseason anyway. But please, they need to figure it out as far as what they're going to do when the actual season gets here, because I don't know how. I don't even know what I would do for the rest of the season. I would just probably watch football movies over and over and over again, just like I've been doing since football season has been over. I've been watching football movies and basketball movies and boxing movies. And so there are a lot of movies out there. Just to go ahead and let you guys know, I want to give you my top 10. And I want to know your top 10, your top 10 sports movies. Let me know what you think. So my top 10, I have the number 10, I have Replacements. Why I have this on my list is because, for one, if you do the backstory on this movie, it's about the Washington Redskins in 1987 when they had the NFL player strike thing going on, and the Washington Redskins won 5 games with their replacements, and in the same year they went to the Super Bowl. Not with the replacements, but the replacements still got a ring, so it was a win-win for everyone. I felt like that was a great movie. They could have made it better. I felt like it was more of a comedy movie. I felt like the director could have made it more serious. But anyway, that's my top 10. My number 10. My number 9 is The Express, about Ernie Davis. It was a great movie. A lot of racism going on back then when he was playing football with Syracuse. This movie kind of brought me to tears because he was the first black running back, first black player, football player to win the Heisman Trophy. And he didn't even make it to the NFL. He ended up dying of leukemia at age 23. But anyway, that's my number 9. My number 8 is The Blind Side. Great movie. You guys know it's about Michael Orr with the Baltimore Ravens. He also played for the Panthers. This movie also brought me to tears. But anyway, that's my number 8. My number 7 is Rocky number 4, when the Russian boxer had killed his best friend. Best friend ended up dying. Rocky went, and because Rocky, I believe, was supposed to be retired at that point, but he came out just to fight him, and he ended up winning the match. A hard match, but he won it. That's my number 7. My number 6 would be The Hurricane. Now, many may say this may not be a sports movie because it has, like, the Hurricane being locked up, Mr. Reuben Carter being locked up, and trying to get him out, and how he was trying to be a boxer. He was aspiring to be a boxer. But anyway, it was still a great story. So I went and put that as my number 6. My number 5 is Coach Carter, Samuel L. Jackson. Great movie. In this movie, I felt like it was a very intense movie. It kept me on my feet, and I just love how Samuel L. Jackson was so serious, and how serious he took the players. The players did a good job. You would think that like it was a real team, but anyway, that's my number 5. My number 4 Any Given Sunday with Jamie Foxx as the quarterback. This was a bomb movie. This is another movie that kept me on my feet. I watched it from the start to the end. It felt like I was actually in the game when watching this movie, and I didn't even know that Jamie Foxx, like, he was good. He did good as a quarterback in this movie. I don't know. That's my opinion, but great movie. That is my number 4. My number 3 is The Gridiron Gang. This is, if you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend it. This is a great movie. It's with The Rock, and he got the young players, and it's a great background. And the person, the dude you see in the cornrows with the cornrows, he's a great player. I don't know why he didn't really actually try to make it to the professional league. I think he would have been a great player, but go check it out. That's my number 3, The Gridiron Gang. My number 2 is Friday Night Lights. That is also a great movie. This movie is actually based on a true story about Perryman High School and racism and all that going on, and then them trying to make it to the national championships to beat the Texas Longhorns, and they actually did. My favorite character in this movie, what he was an actual person, was Booby Miles and his uncle. This is the actual picture of them. This is another movie that brought me to tears as well. And I was in the room watching it with my son, and he's only 8 months, but I'm like, yo, you definitely gonna be a football player. I wish he can play for them. No, that's just a joke, but it was a good movie. My number 2, one of the best out there. And then my number 1, the best movie, in my opinion, is Remember the Titans. Denzel Washington, he is a great actor. He is awesome. He is the bomb. And in this movie, he did really good. The players, I just watched it again yesterday, and this movie, I can't even, I'm lost in words because this is just such a great movie. I just don't know. I haven't seen anything else. I haven't saw anything else to top this movie yet. So this is still my number 1. But anyway, this is just a example of what I mean when I say that without a year without football, this is what we would be doing. Specifically talking about me, I know this is what I would be doing, just watching movies like this all over again. And still trying to have some type of football spirit. But now, with that being said, I wanted to bring up a subject. Commissioner Roger Goodell, NFL commissioner, has something to say in an interview, and he was asked about Colin Kaepernick. I have the interview for you guys. I want you to check it out, and I will be right back with you.
Mentioned Colin Kaepernick's name multiple times in this conversation. What role do you envision him playing going forward with the National Football League, be it as a player or in any other way? How do you see him factoring into the future?
Well, listen, if he wants to resume his career in the NFL, that obviously is going to take a team to make that decision. But I welcome that, support a club making that decision, and encourage them to do that. If his efforts are not on the field, but and continuing to work in this space, we welcome to that table and to be able to help us and guide us and help us make better decisions about the kinds of things that need to be done in communities. We have invited him in before, and we want to make sure that everybody's welcome at that table and trying to help us deal with some very complex, difficult issues that have been around, unfortunately, for a long time. But I hope we're at a point now where everybody's committed to making long-term sustainable change.
All right, I'm sorry if the video didn't finish playing, but I hope you got the overall concept of the video. He's basically saying that he support any NFL teams signing Kaepernick. He encouraged them to do so. Kaepernick was right all along, and so I'm with it. I'm behind the commissioner. I'm glad he was able to finally realize, admit to it, acknowledge he was wrong, and he stated that it is up to the NFL. If he playing the NFL, it is up to the coaches and the team to hire him. So with that being said, let's kind of review and rewind as far as what happened with Kaepernick. He opted out of his contract with the 49ers. Now, he was going to be let go anyway. They were going to let him go anyway. I had read a report that Kyle Shanahan, he was the new coach at the time, and he wanted to run the same exact offense that he had in Atlanta, and that Kaepernick did not fit it. So he didn't want Kaepernick as his quarterback. So regardless, if Kaepernick did not opt out of his contract, he was going to be let go anyway. So I understand that. But his reason was that because Kaepernick, so Atlanta have a run style offense, and Kaepernick is a running quarterback. So that didn't really make sense as to how or why he didn't fit the scheme. But anyway, his last season, he was 1-10 as a starter. In 11 starts, he only had 2,241 yards. So he was not a good quarterback in his last year. So I understand as far as a team not wanting to get him a job right away if you're going to base it off his football stats for the last year. But his previous years, he was still a great quarterback. So he took his team to the Super Bowl. He didn't win, but he took him to the Super Bowl, took him to the playoffs, won the playoffs. So he has the experience. And because of that, I will at least let him try out and compete. He can be a backup. I wouldn't give him a starting job right away. Now, if he beat the other guy out, then the job is his. But if he don't beat the other guy out, then he can, I don't know what would happen at that time. But what I do know is that there are some teams that can use Kaepernick. My team can. I mean, we have Dwayne Haskins, but we don't really know about him. We have Kyle Allen. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know about him. He was okay in Carolina, but not enough for me to be like, okay, he's a starting quarterback. And then you also have Alex Smith. No one really knows if he's going to come back. I don't even think he's ever going to come back and play. He say he wants to, but who's going to sign him? I mean, he's still under contract with us, so I don't know. But Cam Newton to me can be a great fit in Washington. I mean, not Cam Newton, Kaepernick. He can be a great fit in Washington. Now, I was going to say he can be the starting quarterback in New England, but that's out of the question now because they just signed Cam Newton. He can be maybe a backup, compete with Justin Herbert from Oregon. He can back up Matt Ryan. He can back up Matthew Stafford. It's plenty of places he can go. Derek Carr, he can go to Oakland. Derek Carr is not doing anything for Oakland at all with nothing. So I don't see why he can compete in Oakland, but I don't know. That's just my take. That's just my opinion. I would like to know what you guys think. Where do you think a good place for Kaepernick to go? Like, where, if he was to get signed with a team, what team would that be? And what do you think about the Cam Newton signing? Make sure, I want to know. I really want to know what you think. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube page at Excuse My Behavior. And also, it's covering up my face. I'm sorry. Subscribe to my YouTube page at Excuse My Behavior. Also, follow me on Twitter at Sierra_Tate. And if you want to be on my show, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, suggestions, you can email me. My email is excusemy_behavior@outlook.com. This is all I have for you guys today. Very short episode, but I will be back with you on next Monday. Make sure you subscribe, you stay tuned. Excuse my behavior. Be on the lookout. Thank you for watching.